How are you feeling? You got John Riggs here with the Ultimate Nintendo Guide to the, how do you say that? The Super Nintendo Library, 91 to 98. Do you say SNES? Do you say SNES? Do you say SNES? Like, are you from the UK? Even though it looks like that, I still say Super Nintendo. 91 to 98. This is, this is a mammoth of a book here. Look at all those pages. Every game covered. From Pat Contri, Pat the NES Punk. You might know him from his CU podcast, or maybe from some of his YouTube videos. Maybe you just know him from attending some of the local video game conventions in your area. He attends a lot of them, and I always love running into him. He always has some great stories. This book is not only written by Pat Contri, but also friends thereof. I am not featured in this book. Not that I wouldn't have or didn't, but I just wasn't. But I still wanted to check this book out. I loved the first one of these. I'm a huge fan of the first one. I was a day one backer of the Nintendo one, and had to check out the Super Nintendo one all the same. Love the advertising, right up front. It's wrestling gone insane. We're not going to go through every single page. We're just going to kind of crack the spine a little bit, look through it together. Some thanks and some executive producers, table of contents. Look at all these games here. How many Super Nintendo games have you played? They're all in here. All of them. Including a lot of games that you didn't even know about. A lot of games that maybe you missed out on the first time around. I've rented many of them. But I bet there's going to be some great ones that not even I knew about. Look at this. I recognize some of these names too. I know Dan Green. I know Pete. I know Mike. I know Allie. I might know the other ones too. But just off the top of my head. Alright, we're just going to start going through it here. There's the forward from Gerard. This is the completionist. And they also, they even get him a score and like a ranking and everything too. So starting off with Three Ninjas Kickback. I love Seventh Saga. I liked it because it was an RPG, but you could actually see where the enemies were on your map. So if you needed to avoid them, you could just avoid them. If you try to anyway, you know. And not only is it like Super Nintendo, but also Super, here's PAL. You know, the PAL Super Nintendo. ActRaiser, one of my favorite games of all time. 5-star, I agree with that. Probably it might be one of my top 5 favorite video games of all time is ActRaiser. So glad I got that 5-star rating. That's what I like to do. I like to go through these and it's like, oh, you know, I would have given that game 2 stars. And then, sure enough, Pugly Scavenger had 2 stars. Or whatever the case may be. I'm not going to go through all the pages. I just want to go through a chunk of them at a time. Baby's Kids, 1 star. What? Got the Bubsy games in here, too. The Bubsy games aren't bad. They're just, you know, they just are what they are, I suppose. Love the still frame animation. Donkey Kong Country, 4.5 stars. Dragon's View, that's a great game right there, too. Another one of my favorites. Availability, very uncommon. Well, maybe. I don't see it too much at conventions anymore. I'm glad I have a copy of it for myself. But it's cool, too, because even if you have a book like this and you're not like a collector, you just want to play the games, it's a nice little insight to... It's like, oh, here's a game called Equinox. Well, that game looks cool. You know, maybe if you liked Solstice or something like that. You're just like, oh, I never heard of Equinox before. Now I can look it up. So then you can grab it for your EverDrive or however you play your game. So Equinox isn't hard to find, really. It's a little uncommon. I just saw Eek the Cat. Recently did an Eek the Cat game in an open cart surgery video recently. Look at all these games. Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. This game got a lot of crap when it first came out. It's like, that's not Final Fantasy. Well, no, it's not. It's not Final Fantasy. It came from a different series, but they put the Final Fantasy name on it to give it a little bit of notoriety, you know? I'm a little curious about the wrestling games when they come up. Not a whole lot of great Super Nintendo wrestling games. I remember I played a lot of them. Huge wrestling fan. Look at this. We're barely even halfway through the book. Lethal Weapon. There's Riggs right there. Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Got the Mega Man X series. And it's cool because they don't just cover NBA Jam, but then all the NBA Jams. I'm sure all the Maddens are covered in this game too, in depth and detail. Ah, there's a good one. Nosferatu. That one took me a while to find for my own collection. All right, we're getting up on the Sunset Riders. 5 stars. 5 stars for Sunset Riders. I think it's good. I probably would have given it 4.5. I don't know if it's a 5-star game, but it's good. Got a lot to say about Super Mario World, no doubt about it. Here's a game called Super Morph. See, this is one I haven't heard of. It came out in the European territory. What else we got? Just look at the detail here. Terra Enigma. That's another one that we never got, but great, great game. Never played all the way through it, but loved what I played with it. All right, coming up on the WWE games. I don't expect good things as far as scores go. Here we go. Starting off with a Raw 4-star game. All right. Pat Country did this one. I bet he did all the wrestling games. He's a wrestling fan like I am. Super WrestleMania 1.5. You know what? At the time, that's all we had. So I played a lot of that. I played a ton of Royal Rumble when that finally came out. I remember playing that game all weekend. And then as we're near the end of the Nintendo games, as you can see here, ending with Zoop. Then we have some special cartridges, some little, the other collectible type things, test carts, the competition carts. And one thing I will say, the Nintendo book, I liked the Nintendo book just fine, but it had almost like there's too much color and stuff in the background, so it made it kind of hard to tell what was what with the pictures and all that, but it's nice and clean. Love the layout in this book. The last one was okay. This one's much better. And here's some Super Famicom games. Not all of the Super Famicom games. Come on now. Not all of them. But it's going to feature some of the better ones, like Clock Tower, like Doremi. This is featuring Milan from Milan Secret Castle. He's in this one. It's a great game you can play without knowing Japanese also. You can just play it in English. I mean, you don't have to play it in English, but you don't need to know. You know what I mean. Hey, Mario Picross. Love Mario Picross. So again, some other great games like Fire Pro X. Then there's even some unreleased Super Nintendo games you can find out about for the first time. Here's Atmosphere. Do you ever play the VCR board game Nightmare? That's this game. When he's like, yes, gatekeeper. Yeah, the gatekeeper. Yes, gatekeeper. And he's like, egging you on and telling you to go back a turn and stuff like that. That was a lot of fun. Look at this. We never got our Steven Seagal game. Can you believe that? Come on now. Games like Tin Head. It's funny because Tin Head was then kind of re-released through, sometimes they find the prototype for, like Socks the Cat. There's Socks the Cat. They find the prototype and they're able to, actually get it out there. And a lot more than that, too. Including the Super Nintendo CD. So, and then more advertising on the back here. Let's Rumble. I remember seeing this flyer, being so excited to play this game. Play as The Undertaker. Love that. Play as Mr. Perfect. Anyway, it's out right now. If you're interested, check out a link in the description below, and a big shout out to all of the Patreon backers, or Kickstarter backers rather, not Patreon, Kickstarter backers of this book. Hopefully you have yours in your hands right now. And if you don't yet, well, you can order it online or just visit Pat next time he's at a local convention near you. Look for the guest list. If he's there, he'll have this book available for sale for you. The cool thing with buying the book in person, you can get it autographed, get a selfie with him. I don't know. I'm a big fan myself, so if you would like to see more about video game books, I have a lot of them, and I cover them on my channel, so make sure you check out that playlist. And I thank you for watching. Take care, and maybe I'll see you at a convention near you soon. Something like that. Take care.